By now, guess what? Yup, another episode of the Giants, guys. Look at me. I'm frazzled. My hair's in front of my face. I can't see because I got some news for you Giants fans. Oh, what is this? Another episode of the Giants, guys. You're in the lab with, check this one out. You ready? You're in the lab with Mike, and Mike. How cool is that? I've got Truth. I've got Spartan Mike. I got Mikey Fresh. I got 3 mics. So it's like Mike, and me. I don't know how to deliver that. But look, if you can see, look, I'm frazzled, dude. I'm frazzled. I'm out of my mind right now because breaking news, Daniel Jones, there is a potential that he does not play this weekend because of a strained neck. Give me a freaking break, okay? Let's start off the show by saying, give me a freaking break, all right? All right. Peyton Manning, okay? Peyton Manning got neck surgery and couldn't move his neck for 2 years and played at a Pro Bowl level. And Daniel Jones got a strained neck. The Giants have also, gentlemen, signed Jake Fromm off the Buffalo Bills practice squad, which, by the way, I think Michael Stewart will tell you, I was a big Jake Fromm fan. So I like Jake Fromm. I mean, for whatever reason, he hasn't really panned out in the pros. So, gentlemen, I'm going to hand this off to you. And with what the freak of strained neck? Come on. Get the kid some acupuncture, some massage, some heat therapy, something. No one misses an NFL game. Gentlemen, no one misses an NFL game if you have a strained neck. Spartan Mike, talk me off the ledge here. A strained neck and my starting quarterback's not going to play. Talk to me.
You know, this is the one thing that Giants fans for the last 17 years before Jones did not have to worry about. Eli Manning never got hurt, and we never had to experience what it was like when our starting quarterback got hurt, and it's the season pretty much, right? And here we are. We're 3 years deep into Jones, and it's a problem almost every other freaking week. I can't talk you off that ledge because I'm pretty fed up.
You know, I was kind of looking for you kind of soft shoe me in here, make me feel good. No, I'm still pissed off. Yes, it's not Eli Manning, but for the love of God, this guy needs to play. Strained neck. Truth, talk to me here because this sounds like a bunch of bunk. Now, Mikey Fresh has got some conspiracy thing going down, so we're gonna kick it over to him in a minute. But yes, I'm cool with Jake Fromm being signed because, as Paul Dottino will tell you, Glennon is a complete statue back there. So insurance policy, yeah. Jake Fromm is your insurance policy. Truth, what the heck? What is going on?
Well, look, I just heard the news like you did, so we don't know the severity of this, and I'm sure they're going to do everything they can to take care of him. Like you said, they're going to do treatments. It is only Tuesday. And we are spoiled, like Spartan Mike says. We've had Eli Manning for so many years. That guy was tough as nails, never got hurt. And he's not even close to being as tough as what appears Jones is as physically, So I'm more patient. I'm going to wait and see. I think he's going to play. They're going to do everything they can to get him ready.
Okay. Everything. It's a strained neck. What the heck are we talking about here? We're not talking about
strained neck is tough. You ever get a strained neck sometimes? I mean, it's pretty rough sometimes. You can't move.
If I'm strained in my neck, I'm doing something that we shouldn't be talking about on air. Okay. So all right, let's put that away on if I've ever had
form. Craig is in rare form this evening.
I'm not doing this anymore. I keep defending all these players, and I'm done. I'm over with this entire mantra of, it's okay that Solder's going to get Jones killed. Oh, it's okay that Golladay doesn't play or block. It's okay. No, I'm just done. I'm done. I want to talk about the win. Instead, we're talking about a strained neck. Mikey Fresh, give me some conspiracy theory thing here.
Yeah, here's my thing. It was interesting. They signed Fromm, and then you saw that, and then a little bit later you find out about the injury. I think Spartan Mike, great point, by the way. I think every time that you see quarterbacks miss time, you really appreciate Eli Manning that much more. Just how it was a constant. We talk about going into the draft. What do we have to worry about? What are positions of need? And for us, for 15 years, quarterback was not a worry. So that was a good place to be. I think he's been playing poorly, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're just like saying that it's an injury and they're like, we got to maybe sit him down a week, have him watch. Like, the offense is scoring 17, 18 points a game. It's not like they're scoring 30 points a game. I don't know that Glennon is a gigantic drop-off. Like, yes, I'd rather have Jones in there, and yes, that using his legs gives the defense an additional element to prepare for. But, what are we missing, really? We score a touchdown and kick a couple of field goals every game. So, we rely on our defense to win, and we're going to win and lose with our defense. So as far as it goes, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a little sore and they're just forcing him to sit out just to take a step back, watch the game, and maybe it'll be good for him. But who knows?
Can I ask this real quick? And this is the most biased question you're ever going to get out of me, and it's very blatant with what I'm wearing. We know what Glennon can provide us, and that's pretty much nothing. Why don't they just give Lewerke just a chance? It sounds like we're probably going to, get no results out of him, but he's a young quarterback. I would rather see him play than see some washed-up vet.
I disagree. Glennon's been a serviceable veteran in the league, and
yeah, you can't do that. Not at this point. You can't do that.
I like your ambition, though.
Lewerke's on the practice squad?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. He's on the team.
He's an ex-Michigan State player, right?
You got it.
Listen, I'm not a big Lewerke fan, but I can say that he's going to need some time to actually, practice squad, get those kind of reps. Glennon's getting the reps, but come on, that's just strained neck, people. You got to be kidding me. I don't even know what to do with someone telling me my starting quarterback is not going to play because of a strained neck. A strained neck.
They disappear in 2 days. It's Tuesday. Am I not mistaken? I've had a strained neck before, and 2 days should be enough to clear it.
A strained neck could be a severity at different levels, guys. Come on.
I think they're sitting him down. They're just like, you've been sucking. We're sitting you down.
I don't buy that one either. I don't. Sorry.
Yeah, I love Fresh for a conspiracy theory. Totally love the fact. I'm
creative.
Yeah, I'm loving the fact that he even brought that up, because now I'm like, whoa, that's actually pretty cool. I like the conspiracy theory. But realistically, here's my thing. You're a professional athlete. You've got doctors, trainers, massage therapists. You got heat and stem and cold tubs and hot tubs and saunas.
They're going to do all that. They're going to do all that.
Yeah, if you can't fix a strained neck, yes, there's different grades of strained necks, but look.
Yeah, neck's tricky though, Craig. You don't want you don't know, to Truth's point, you don't know the severity of it, and it's like
Mikey Fresh.
Err on the side of caution.
Mikey Fresh, I love you. Peyton Manning played without being able.
That's Peyton Manning. He's a one of a kind, Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I'm not trying to compare him to Peyton Manning. I'm just saying it can be done.
But Jones is a gamer, though. He's going to take off to run, and he's not going to slide. He's going to put his head down like he did against the Cowboys. They got to protect him from himself.
It's not
it is only Tuesday. It is only
medical staffs of any NFL team. We generally hold people back because of injury longer than other teams typically will.
All I can say is that this year specifically, I have seen guys that are sitting. I don't know what the training staff is doing, but our guys are sitting. Shepard's been out for 4 weeks. Golladay for 4 weeks. These guys have hangnails, and he's been ruled out already, according to Danny. You better not be messing with me. You want to see me lose my shit. He's been ruled out already. If that's breaking news, someone else can corroborate that story.
You got to look that up.
Yeah. Danny's pretty good though. I would believe Danny's on top of it, but
they don't have to turn in. They don't have to turn in a report until Thursday. So
that's why I was going to say, Danny, that it's too early in the week to rule him out already. He'd have to be really hurt, and to be ruled out.
Hopefully they're messing around to mess with the Dolphins, and he's playing.
Usually what it is, a lot of the time. Yeah.
I don't think he puts fear in.
All
the
right, Brian, I'm the only one that's allowed to swear on my show. Okay, just for the record. But yes, I understand. I'm right with you on this durability thing, the whole thing. Like I was here to like crank up some talk about the win because listen, it was an ugly win, but win's a win. So I'm gonna temporarily put my insanity on the shelf. Like I'm gonna put it up here in the box. Okay, and let's visit. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't see a strained neck. So I'm going to put that back here somewhere next to Carl Banks' photo back there and Rodney Hampton. And we're going to revisit that maybe one more time before the show's over. It's another episode of the Giants Guys. We're live on YouTube. We're hoping you guys are tuning in and jumping in. Shout out to Joe Clark and Brian and Carl and Danny and a bunch of you guys that I see you popping in with questions. And Elsie, am I pronouncing that right? I don't want to mess that up. Esley. How do I pronounce this, gentlemen? Esley.
It looks like it.
Yeah, want to make sure I shout out to a bunch of you guys. All right, let's talk about the win, gentlemen. One, feels good, right? Feels good. Here's the question that I have for you that I'm going to round table you guys on. So, and I'm looking at like my notes, right? It's kind of like the softball. Garrett's gone, right? And Kitchens takes over. Jason Garrett couldn't throw the ball vertically. He couldn't score more than 19 points a game. He couldn't get Golladay the ball. We get a win with Kitchens at the helm. I didn't see anything different than I normally would see. In fact, it almost felt, and I think Fresh and I might have talked about it on Monday, it almost felt like Kitchens was afraid to let him go vertical at all. Like they, it almost seemed like they were holding him back. Fresh, I'm going to start with you since we talked about it. Did you see, yes, win? Are you happy with the win? And did you see anything different, week to week? Like do you feel Kitchens' presence at all?
I thought that he made an effort to get Jones involved with a little bit more designed runs early. And then you could tell they made an effort to get the ball to Golladay coming off of the week before. He had 7 targets. So one game, we'll kind of see how that transpires throughout the rest of the season. I think they have to make an effort, continue to make an effort to get the ball in their playmakers' hands. More importantly, though, they have to stretch the field and throw the ball downfield. I understand that the line is shaky, but listen, one of the things Jones does well is throw it down the field, and the coaches aren't even letting him do that. What does that tell you? They have lost confidence in him. He's lost confidence in himself. You have the ball, and I get that you run it 3 times at the end of the game to rely on your defense and make the Eagles use their timeouts. If Jalen Hurts isn't the other quarterback, that doesn't fly. That doesn't fly against Rodgers. That doesn't fly against Brady. First or second down, throw the ball, get a first down. They have zero faith in Jones. They're not letting him go down the field, and it's showing that they've lost confidence in him. And it's going to, I'm not liking what I'm seeing.
I agree with that 100%. You needed 1 first down, the game was over. And just so for clarity, I haven't rewatched the game yet because I was driving back from Virginia, so I had it on Sirius XM. Plug for you guys. I was listening to the game. Of course, I was getting Carl Banks and Bob Papa. And Bob Papa, unlike Bob Papa, says, and that's another win for the New York Giants. And then he says, oh, I might be a little premature with that. The Giants are going to have to get a first down or kick the ball. We needed 1 first down, and they wouldn't let the cat throw the ball. Like, I don't know if that's Kitchens' self-preservation mode, because if Daniel throws a pick right there, right away you blame Kitchens, right? And maybe he doesn't want to get the axe either. But for the love of God, if he's your quarterback, let him get a first down.
No, man, they got to live and die with him. They don't have. Listen, it's concerning that the staff is losing faith in him. Like, it doesn't matter what we think. Like, they're telling you that they don't have faith in him. They're not. Everything's safe. They're not going downfield, and it's concerning now. It was Garrett, now it's Kitchens. And quite frankly, Jones has had his worst 2 games of the year, the last 2 games. I'm not talking about stats. I'm just talking about how he looks, his presence. No good.
So I think this is Rock. It's because of the short week, not that much change. You'll see new plays this week due to regular. Okay, so Adam, I'm pretty sure this is Rock. Rock, that's a great point. You know, it might have been a slimmed down playbook for a little bit for Kitchens to get a little grasp of what he wanted to do. I think everything's been installed already, so you're not going to see, I don't think, quite anything new, Rock. But I think that with a full week of practice and Kitchens running the offense, I think you'll definitely see him turn the page a couple times more. Yeah, sorry, that's right, you Rock. I got you now. So I think that's a really good point that Rock brings up about it being a short week. So they may get a little bit of a pass there, maybe. But I'll tell you, we only needed one first down. Go ahead, Spartan Mike. What do you got for me on this? Do you see anything different week to week?
I mean, offensively, the only thing that I saw different that I kind of liked was that they were having Daniel Jones throw the ball a little bit quicker. He wasn't sitting back in the pocket for too long. So I know his best ability is to throw the ball deep downfield, but it did seem like there were a few more designs for him to get the ball off quicker, so he's not getting crushed back there. Behind a horrible swing tackle, Nate Soldier. And on top of that, I offensively, I was extremely disappointed. I was hoping to see some more explosive plays out of Kitchen, whatever Kitchens had to offer. But they just weren't happening. And then there were some terrible play calls again that when we got the ball back after the interception, we did absolutely nothing with it. We did the end around and lost 13 yards on the play. I couldn't believe you could even lose that many yards on a play. So I'm not confident that we have the right pieces still on offense, and that I was just coaching alone. Just Jason Garrett was the fault of our offense.
I like Brian's note here. He said it was a good thing I was at the hotel bar when I was getting this news. Yeah, I'm with you, Brian. I wish I was at the hotel bar when I got the news.
Here's Brian.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have a beer, so I'm gonna go get me a beer. Truth. Talk to me about this, what you thought week to week, because the offense was putrid again, can't score any points. Like Fresh said earlier, there was some definitely a little bit different of a flavor towards what was being called. What did you think, Truth? Week to week, and do you have any, what's your thoughts on the future? And with that said,
go get your beer. Well, look, I said on a Twitter saying that if anybody is expecting to see a major change in the offense in 1 week, they're crazy. It's not going to change. You're going to see, like I think Spartan said, you're going to see a little bit more added on as we move forward the last 6 games. One thing I will say, if you want to go vertical, and I know that's Kitchen's forte, he's known for that, you got to have an offensive line that gives your quarterback time to do that. And I think the Giants line is pathetic. They're pathetic. So how could you stretch the field and give your quarterback time to go vertical when he's he can't set his feet, he can't make the throws he wants to throw. So
listen, it doesn't have to be elaborate down the field attack like the 99 Rams. It's just got to be like take a 3-step drop and heave it up with a guy running a fly once in a while to keep the defense honest.
Fresh, if 3-step drop, your wide receiver is not going to get that far down the field. How long
if he runs a 3-step, a fade or a fly?
A 3-step drop is pretty quick.
His point is that the receiver won't be at the top of the route in a 3-step. If you wanted to like literally just try to beat a guy with flat out speed down the field, what you're talking about is basically Ross, because Golladay doesn't have any speed and Tony's out again. Wah. Okay. You're talking about Ross, and Ross is an underused player on this team. But to Fresh, to his point is that 5-step drop, let it rip. He doesn't really get enough time. Yeah, he doesn't really get enough time. Even a 7-step, nowadays is almost impossible. With the line that we have.
Let me ask this: why don't they do playbook a little bit more similar to the Packers a few years ago, and where Rodgers would roll out quite often. It's always play action, fake handoff, and he drops back so far that nobody can really catch him in time. I never understood why the Giants don't do that, because we have a bad offensive line. Jones can move. And
yeah, Jones can do that. You're right.
And they put him right in the pocket. He gets crushed every time.
All right, I'm off the shelf. Jordan Ron, which I'm not a fan of, just reported DJ will try to thaw it out, rough it out, and play Sunday.
Yeah, like I said, it's still only Tuesday, so you got a long way to go. All
right, Rock is on it. Rock is now our ESPN liaison. Thank you, Rock. Craig's gonna have to move. No, I am not. Danny's jumping way ahead on the McKinney stuff. All right, so tough it out. Yes, thanks, Carl. Yes, tough it out, Rock. I got it. He's gonna have to tough it out. But here's the thing: I want you guys to at least give me this. Rock's point about being a short week. I like that. That's a valid point. Short week. This week should give him, a lot more time to kind of pick what he likes and what he doesn't like, right? Because it was a short week last week. However, this is what I want you guys to answer me. If Shepard's going to be hurt every week, and Golladay is going to, and Tony's not there, Shepard's not there, do we not need a better effort from Golladay? This guy's turning into a diva. And I'm really at the point where you know what? I could give a shit if they trade him. I'm just the guy doesn't want to block. He's half speed. Fresh. What's your thought on the whole Golladay, experience here? You are trying to throw him the ball more, but I don't know. I'm not seeing I don't feel we got what was advertised.
Well, we're sitting here wanting Jason Garrett to go because we don't like what he's done. We're criticizing the offensive line. Daniel Jones is getting crushed, yet we want the wide receiver to make plays. I disagree with you. I know it's frustrating that he missed a few games being injured, and he's going to have to overcome that in his career. Last year, he missed a bunch of time. I just think his presence on the field as a big body target and a legitimate number one hasn't really been seen yet, which is more of a symptom of the offense just being atrocious around him. I think that if given an opportunity, I think that you'll change your mind on him because I do feel like he's a key piece to an offense moving forward.
Hey, Jake, the update on Jones is that he's going to try to tough it out and play. So he was out when I started the show 25 minutes ago. I lost my mind for 15 minutes. And then Rock reported and Carl reported that Jones is going to try to tough it out. So it's early in the week. So the Jones conversation is still back there in the box. Don't make me go get it. I'm trying to keep moving on. Spartan Mike, talk to me about this Golladay thing. As Carl says, he wouldn't lose any sleep if KG isn't back. I don't know, man. Listen, part of the game is blocking. Sterling Shepard is a very unselfish player. He's a great downfield blocker. Amani Toomer, great downfield blocker. I've even seen Plax, block downfield. You got to be a complete player. You can't be a diva. I mean, he got Fresh. What was he? What do you have? 6 targets, 7 targets?
Yeah.
And he had a couple of nice catches. What's your thought here, Spartan, Mike?
Look, anytime you have a player that isn't willing to do some of their assignments,
dirty work.
Yeah, that really can't fly at the professional level. It's just not going to work. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't really paying attention to Kenny G in that regards the other day. So this is actually the first time I'm really hearing that he hasn't been blocking or anything like that. But I'll be kind of honest with you about Kenny G. I never really thought he was that great to begin with. I feel like we got a very good receiver. We didn't get an elite one. The Giants needed somebody to get some separation, and they swando for Kenny G, and fair, they paid him a lot of money, probably more than he was worth. And I actually think there's a combination of things here. Fresh is definitely right. He's probably not getting the support that he needs. But at the same time, is he not bringing on every assignment? I don't know. But if that is the case, then I just don't know if he's the guy, to be honest with you. Is he going to be with this franchise for a long time to come as our star receiver? I doubt it.
Truth, talk to me.
Well, again, Mike, I didn't focus on Golladay during the game, so I didn't pick at those. Notice that, but look, he's been known for having injuries, especially. The Giants knew that when they went after him. It was a big gamble signing him, and they went with it. And right now, it's backfiring. But he's going to be here next year. Get rid of him. He's going to be here. So let's just hope he gets healthy and contributes.
I don't know if it's
He's a good player when
backfiring.
he's healthy.
Yeah, I don't.
What do you mean?
How's
It
it
backfired on
backfiring?
him right now. What do you mean? Well, because he's making so much money. What has he done in 11 games? What's his? He should be leading the team in receiving, catches, and yards easily
All right, I mean, I
for the
guess.
money they gave him. So it's backfired right now. But he's
But
still
Truth,
good when he's healthy.
To your point, though, Truth, that you had earlier, Jones can't get the ball off quick enough for receiver, catching the ball to even really be an option. This is an ultimate problem, and starting 4 years ago with the Giants, right? They never got the offensive line situated. They started rebuilding out of order. They go running back, quarterback, then they finally got one offensive lineman, and then they're going for all these receivers. What the Giants should have done from the start is you start with the offensive line so that when you draft a quarterback, they are in a secure situation, and then you can go for the big free agents, wide receivers or running backs that are going to get the ball and score some points. But if you start from the top there with running backs, there's nothing they're going to be able to do.
Yeah, but you're going back 5 years. What's the point? Why are we talking about a 2018 draft now? It doesn't matter. It's over with.
Because we don't have an offensive line still, and we're.
I know, but let it go. We know that, but let it go. I mean, you got to realize back then he had the number 2 pick, and we don't know what went on in the war room. Did he try to trade back? He said he tried, but he said he didn't like the packages he was getting. That's what he said.
You're right. That's not what I'm trying to argue. That's really not what I'm trying to argue. But the problem is, the Giants signed a star receiver, but you can't use a star receiver if your quarterback's getting hurt and your quarterback's going to keep getting hurt.
It's true. It's a domino effect. You're right. It's a domino effect. The line's horrible. Yep.
All I can tell you, gentlemen, is this: is that the game, has different levels to the game. As a wide receiver, hey, I can't even fathom what it would be to be an NFL or a D1 receiver. But as a washed-up baller, okay, who was a D3 slot receiver, and by the way, I'm so freaking old. We used to call them flankers back then. There were no slot receivers. That's how old I am. Like, I'm older than dust. Okay,
stop.
As a flanker wide receiver for 2 years, 50% of what I did was blocking. Okay. I did a lot of dirty routes. Okay. I had a lot of skinny post drag routes, Z routes. I had a lot of underneath stuff getting my ass kicked. But listen, I took pride in the fact that I'd put my helmet underneath a couple cornerbacks' chin straps, light dudes up like pinball machines, purely on the fact to pop a corner for a running back. It's still got to be pride, dude. It can't be like, hey, I'm only going to do 50% of my job. I'm only gonna be here for you when you're throwing me the ball. Grow the freak up. It's part of the game.
I'm not giving him a reason not to block. I am saying this though. He's not getting performance comp by blocking. He would get it by catching more touchdowns and more passes.
That's what they're paying him for, right?
No excuse, but I get it.
Yeah, well, then I'll flip the coin over, Spartan Mike. Then he shouldn't be in on the play that he needs to block. If he's just about catching touchdowns, well, then put in who's the guy they brought up from the practice squad? He said he's a pretty good blocker. Drawing a blank. He caught a bunch of balls 3 weeks ago.
Colin Johnson.
Oh, thank you, sir. That's why Mikey Fresh is the man. Then put Johnson in the block. Then don't put Golladay in the block. But guess what? Plaxico Burress is twice the receiver as Golladay is, and he blocked. And Toomer holds every record for the team that he blocked. Victor Cruz blocked. Sterling Shepard's blocked. You know what I mean? If you didn't want to come here, then don't sign the paper. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Like, you know what? It's a bad team. Don't make it worse by not blocking. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, be part of the solution, not part of the problem. All right, next subject. Let's talk about Saquon. I can't run between the tackles. Barkley. I've basically come to the conclusion that this is all we're going to get out of him. He's basically now an ancillary piece. He cannot get out of his own way. He ran for 32 yards and then he had 30 yards of negative yards. I mean, it's a disaster. It's a disaster. I have fully come full circle to believe that drafting a running back high is a mistake. And I am a huge Christian McCaffrey fan. His dad was a Giants wide receiver. How can you not love the guy? McCaffrey now. Right. Yeah, and now McCaffrey is out for the season with an ankle injury. So, like I want to say, well, McCaffrey can do it, but he can't. So I don't know if it's just bad teams with bad lines. McCaffrey's got a bad offensive line.
Derrick Henry got hurt.
Yeah, Derrick Henry. But like teams that don't have great offensive lines, maybe. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it. But Saquon is not the guy. So truth. What do we do with Saquon? Are you tagging him? Are you giving him a 2-year? Are you letting him walk? Because he's an abomination right now. Like, I have not seen him drop a shoulder on one guy in 4 years. And I want to like this guy. There was a tweet he put out last week, Truth. There was a tweet he put out how hard it is to balance everything he has on in his life. And I'm like, well, then stop worrying about your brand and score some touchdowns. Like, he's a disappointment, and I want to like him so bad. I want to like him, Truth. What do we do with this cat?
Well, I still think it's undecided. He's got 6 more games to show the Giants organization that he's part of the future. And that's what they're hoping that he does. Because like you said, you like Barkley. They all like Barkley. He's a likable kid. And I think it's going to take a lot for them even have to give him a franchise tag. Look what they did for Evan Ingram. They gave him one, and he's horrible for the 4 years that he was with us. So I think the worst scenario, if Barkley stays healthy these last 6 games and does decent, they may franchise tag him. They might. I'm not saying they will, but they won't give him no deal. But they'll use the franchise tag to buy him more time. That's what I'm seeing.
All right, Fresh. What do you got for me with Saquon?
I just think that it's going to depend on what he wants and how much he wants to. If he wants to come back for minimal contract, then awesome. If he wants to move on, then good for him. Hopefully he finds a Sean Payton or somewhere where he will be utilized to the best of his skills. I think it goes to show that if you rely and try to build an offense around a running back in today's league, you're kind of playing with fire. Same way if you head into this season and not draft any offensive linemen, you're playing with fire, as we know. So, they made that decision, and that would be something that backfired for sure.
Yeah, it's a Spartan. It's a disappointment on a colossal level. We all know, just how good he can be. But, I mean, I don't know if he's worried about the knee, the ankle. I don't know what it is, Spartan, but, every week I'm like, this is the week, this is the week, this is the week. And he shows nothing. Every carry is 2 yards. He just cannot move the pile. He's not patient. He doesn't wait for the hole. And I don't know. Tiki Barber started off where he was a third down scat back, and then one day he got LASIK surgery, and the next thing you know, he's the most patient running back in the NFL. It's 4 years. Has he not learned anything?
I don't know. It's funny. Somebody had a tweet the other day. He's playing right now kind of like the basketball players in the movie Space Jam when the Looney Tunes characters suck the good playing quality out of them. He's looking terrible. It's not – he doesn't look himself, and he doesn't look like he's able to do the things that he used to do. I mean, he doesn't shuffle anymore. He doesn't, make guys break ankles or whatever the correct term is. when you're juking them out. The injuries obviously affected him. I think moving forward, I mean, even if the price is right with Saquon, do we really want him? Because the problem is he loses yards on a lot of plays. We need a guy that can kind of bulldoze forward for an extra yard or two. Doesn't necessarily have to be Derrick Henry, but we have to move the ball forward. And I just feel like Saquon isn't even doing that anymore.
I'm a little confused. Isn't next year he gets a franchise tag? So he really doesn't have an option, does he?
If they pick it up.
I heard Fresh said it depends what he wants. I mean, they have an option on him that goes by the CBA bargain agreement, what he's supposed to get. So he has no control over that.
Well, I think what Fresh is alluding to the fact that, like, do you give him a 2-year now? Like, do you let him play out the option year, or do you give him what does he want? What does he, will he take it? If they gave him a 2-year deal right now for 22 and 23, what would he want and would he take it?
Okay.
Or you let him ride out year 5, right?
Yeah.
Or they turn it down. Or they turn it down, like, and they don't give him, which would be eye-opening if they didn't give him, the 5th year.
He's still in rehearsal too. I mean, he's got to show something. You're right. Next 6 games.
And the thing is what's driving me crazy is at some point at Penn State, he had to run somebody over. He can't. Like, I almost feel like I need to go fast.
back. He ran by people.
I know, but I can't.
I mean, I think in the Saints game this year, you saw him kind of start like he's back, like, physically in the games, but he's always coming back from injury. You could tell he, like, hesitates, and he's not mentally, I don't think, like, all the way over. Mm-hmm. He's not the same player.
Yeah, Anthony, you're right on. He's on the team. If they pick up his 5th year option, I don't know if it's been picked up. Are you saying, Anthony, they picked up the 5th year option already? If they have, okay.
I didn't hear it. I didn't
hear they picked up his 5th year option, but they might have. But, like, our Caribbean friend here, Mark Thomas, is back. What's up, Mark? Thanks for jumping in with us. He's the losing yards is nothing. Lots less negative plays in the 2nd year than rookie year, and he broke records. Look, I want to see him succeed. It shows you nothing. The burst is gone. It will return. I'm assuming it will return. But I mean, at this point, if he grinded out 75 yards, would anybody here in the room be disappointed with that? No, exactly. And so that's the thing with Barkley is we understand he's not the same, but he's giving you nothing. Like, if we played and that's the other point, guys. Booker, he's basically disappeared. He ran for 100 yards 2 weeks ago. Fresh, wouldn't you want to see Booker get more carries than he's getting? He looked great 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they're no good on 3rd downs. They don't have the ball that much. Like, it's hard to get all these guys touches and stuff when they're not producing. So, like, that happens. But if they don't convert on 3rd downs, they're not going to have enough plays to get Booker the carries and Golladay the targets and all that stuff.
Guys,
but you know what, Fresh? Hold on, Truth. You know what, Fresh? Okay. Forget about that. If Barkley can't do it, give him Barkley's carries.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Use Barkley in more of a 3rd down role.
Yeah, because right now, Barkley shows me nothing on 1st and 2nd down except for 3.5 yards.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Truth.
No, I was saying the same issues we were talking about Jones and all the other he's having because of the offensive line, the same with Barkley. They're not blocking for him, so he has no lanes to run through. He had, what did he have, 40-something yards last week, and he had 1 for 32 yards. He found a seam, and he broke the 32 yards. Other than that, he had nothing. You're right. I'm not going to say the offensive line is the blame of every single thing for every player, skilled player, but it's hard when you're a skilled player and you're running into walls. You're not running. You don't see a lane.
He's not being utilized the right way either. I mean, when you have a line like that, like, we're complaining because, maybe another running back can make a 2-yard carry look better than a negative 1-yard carry. But, like, he's the type of guy that, like, he needs some space either way.
I like what Kevin says here. You let him play out next year because it's year 2 after the injury. It's the Adrian Peterson case study. Thanks, Kev. That's a really good point. I mean, you may see an entirely different back next year because it's a full 2 years after the injury. Spartan Mike, you believe there's any validity to that statement?
Just tell me. I did do the research. He is going to be back for the 5th year. So that was my mistake. I thought that this would be it if we didn't re-sign him. Real quick, Truth, to what you had said, he's not getting the blocking. To be fair, though, he didn't get blocking in his first year either. There was a pretty bad offensive line in 2018. I will say that
he was healthy. He was healthy. He had no injuries at all.
He was healthy. Yeah. He was healthy, but it was the same problem. Omame, and I'm trying to think of all those dudes' names Solder and Hernandez still, but yeah, no, Fresh, you're absolutely right. At least Shermer did utilize him better.
I don't know,
I
man.
mean, he had 91. Didn't he have 91 receptions? How many receptions did he have his rookie year?
91.
Yeah, 91. What happened? What we should utilize him more, little flare outs, and little screens, and get him in open space.
Right.
Why are we the New York Giants are the worst screen team in the history of football.
Because their linemen aren't mobile. That's why their linemen are mobile. They need to get linemen that are mobile in open space. They don't have anyone like that.
Hey, Truth, check your connection. You're breaking up a little bit.
Am I?
You're just breaking up a little bit. Might be your headset, not sure, but you're breaking up just a little bit. Spartan Mike, maybe try to check the plug, Truth, or maybe unplug and replug. Just give it a shot. There's a lot of static coming from your headset. Spartan Mike. No, so far so good. Spartan Mike, talk to me though about Booker. It's the same line. 2 weeks ago, Booker runs for 100 yards behind the same line that Barkley can't run in. So why can't we seem to get Booker 10 carries? He's a hard runner. He's going to get you 4 yards of carry by just being tough, where Twinkle Toes is getting you 2.5. What's your thought on just listen, I know we're afraid to put a superstar like Barkley on the bench, but God, he doesn't do anything.
We're running the exact same plays that they would have run with Barkley that they did with Booker. It was the same plays. Booker is better for when you're running up the middle, running between tackles and guards and whatnot. Saquon can't do that, to Truth's point. I mean, you need to get him in open space and perhaps get him out there for passes more so like he was his rookie year. When I was talking earlier about running backs being able to get that extra yard, Booker can do that. What he can't do is he can't juke guys out in open space. I mean, there were a couple of times where linebackers were able to make shoelace tackles on him. It's fine. It's not a skill set. But with Saquon, you have to get him an open field in order to utilize him to the best of his capabilities.
Anthony Rizzo says Booker is a better third back. Now, I like Booker as a third down back too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm only making the general point is if I put them side by side and run the same play, Booker's going to get you 3.5 to 4 yards of carry. Barkley's going to get you 2 yards of carry because he just doesn't run physical. I mean, he's got to be the biggest guy I've ever seen that goes down relatively easy. He
was more physical at Penn State. You asked that earlier. He was.
Okay. Well, so I don't know if it's just now, again, sometimes, today's football player, what do they say? Everything is about business, right? He's protecting the brand. Well, let me explain something to you, Saquon. When Bo Jackson got hurt, his brand went away, okay? Everything that Bo knows, 2 years after Bo knows, I'm sure he was still making money, but nobody gave a shit, okay? Like if you're not a star running back in the NFL, your brand's going to disappear. There's a lot of guys out there that think their brand is because it's all about them, and some guys can pull it off and some guys can't. You're talking about having 1.5 successful years. I don't know. I'm disenchanted by the style of play that Golladay and Barkley bring to the table right now. All right, let's move on to something super cool. Truth. How about that defense? We're seeing We're seeing some really good play out of a bunch of guys. I'm gonna give you truth. I'm gonna give you 5 guys and give me one word to describe each guy. Ready? One word, it's all you get. McKinney.
Exciting.
Ojulari.
Electrifying.
Electrical.
Promising.
I know. Promising.
How about
Hey, well, I got the fourth one.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
My bad. Roche.
Roach, unexpected.
Dexter Lawrence.
Expected.
And Crowder.
Crowder, I don't know. I mean, he has played good the last few years. I'm speechless. Yeah, speechless. I didn't expect this out of him.
All right. Fresh, you're up. Bradbury.
Better.
Logan Ryan.
We miss him. That's 3 words.
Leonard Williams.
A force.
Okay.
2 words.
Only because he
Better.
played this week. Even though I don't even want to go. I won't continue my commentary to give it away. Lorenzo Carter.
Figures you give that to Fresh.
Average. He was average this week. That's a compliment for Carter.
Adoree Jackson.
Consistent.
Spartan Mike. Darnay Holmes.
Worthy.
Tenacious. Sorry.
Hey, come on. It's Spartan Mike's turn. You're out.
Spartan Mike's turn, man.
I cut off Truth. It's all good.
Zemenis.
Subpar.
Did he even play?
I think he was a healthy scratch.
Yep, he didn't play 1 down.
Yeah. Jabril Peppers.
Missing.
Yeah. Truth. I'm fresh. You got me. I'll mute you.
There should be go beyond 5 seconds because it's one of those things. It's like, I mean, if he had an okay game, I don't see him back on the team at the end of the year. Disappointing season wise, game wise. He played.
He didn't play.
Oh yeah, he didn't play. So there you go.
All right, then I'm going to come back around to what you thought. Your word, McKinney.
Is that me? Or are you talking
about
Spartan Mike?
No, Spartan Mike.
Exceptional.
Okay, and then the one that Truth had trouble with, Crowder.
I'm going to get 2 words on this. Not irrelevant. Because he's Mr. Irrelevant.
All right, so now I'm going to tell you guys. Okay, so I heard you guys out. I'm going to tell you what I think. 1, Crowder is, to me, irrelevant. He doesn't make good tackles. He made 1 play. Literally, the interception was great, but it was the only play he's made all year. He's completely irrelevant. Zemenis, disappointing. Carter, invisible. Adoree Jackson, up and coming, if you want to consider that 2 words, because I think Adoree Jackson was terrible the first four games of the season, and he's
rising.
slowly, rising. There you go, Truth. Thanks. Rising. McKinney, surprising. I had lost all my faith as Danny. I don't know if Danny's still on the show. Danny, if I could find Danny's comment, scroll it way back. He was giving me crap about buying a McKinney T-shirt or jersey because I said, "Look,
I got his jersey, baby."
All right, I said the guy's got a couple. I said the guy's got a couple picks. Let's not get crazy.
Dad.
Go ahead, Truth.
No, I just want to say, we about maybe 5-6 weeks ago, a lot of you guys were down on McKinney, and last year he only had 4 games when he came back from injury, and this year he was struggling. It was really only half a season really under NFL. So now he's in his 15th game, so he's starting to see the game slowing down, and That's why you
Yep.
see him doing so well.
He's made a complete turnaround. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He's a player.
here's what I want to plant a seed with you guys. I'm going to ask you this again in a week or two. Is McKinney playing this well because Logan Ryan's not there? And that's and secondly is he playing better because Jabril Peppers isn't there? Because I will tell you that my biggest issue with McKinney is he's a terrible, horrible, I mean atrocious tackler. I mean he is like
I think he's been better. I think he's been better lately than that.
I mean, but him fresh better is like bad. That's how like he went from like horrible to atrocious. He came up to bad. He's just a bad tackler because he thinks that at Bama he could just run into dudes and they would fall over. And in the NFL, it don't work.
He's
that
gonna
way.
learn. He's gonna learn. He's gonna learn.
But I'm also starting to feel that he's a free safety, not a strong safety. And I'm starting to feel he's that ball hawk we haven't had in a long time. So if Peppers or Ryan or any, or even if they draft a guy, like he just may become the ball hawk, right? Because he seems to be in the right place at the right time an awful lot the last 2 weeks. And Logan Ryan hasn't played in the last 2 weeks. So there could be a little something to that. Dexter Lawrence, happy because I'm going with because he kind of was disappointed. I think Leonard Williams underrated. I still think he doesn't get a lot of credit for what he's doing up front because he's not crushing sacks, but he's really making things difficult. And I think pretty much those are the start. Oh, and Bradbury is consistent. He's where he was not consistent those first 4 games. I think the last 4 games he's found the level of consistency, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think that this defense is coming around. What I want to ask you, I'll start with you, Spartan Mike. The bend don't break defense.
Yeah.
We know it's Patrick Graham's MO. Are you comfortable with it? Because I feel like why do we have to torture ourselves all game long and just expect these guys to make plays at the end?
I go back and forth on it personally, game by game, because this past week is a perfect example where it works out perfectly. We gave up 332 yards of offense to the Eagles, but they were held to 13 points. That is, or 7 points. I'm sorry, we got 13 points. They got 7. That's acceptable.
And 4 turnovers.
And 4 turnovers.
That was the key right there. That was the key.
Yeah, and a lot of times the Eagles will be driving, and the Giants quite literally do stop them in the red zone or closer on the wrong half of the field. I can work with it if it turns out as perfectly as it did this past week. However, the Giants also came off a week against the Buccaneers where it's frustrating to see them prevent defense because they were giving up 30. They gave up 30 points anyway, right? I don't mind it. What I do miss is the reliable pressure that we got from Spags defense in the late 2000s. There's a time. I mean, we don't have the defensive linemen that we did back then, right? So you can't expect it. Again, I could roll with this defense on a week-by-week basis, but there are plenty of times where this bend-don't-break defense just doesn't work.
Yeah, like Victor's here talking about the defense packages. If we got to play deep, we got to come up and make some damn good tackles. All that's true. The biggest issue that I have, Truth, with the bend don't break is you really have to have a good pass rush because otherwise you just get picked apart in the middle of the field. And the next thing you know, they're in the red zone and you got your back against the wall. I'd like to see them, which I thought Graham did last year, whether it was with Golden early on, because by the way, Golden has like 10 or 11 sacks already. We traded him. Fackrell has having a great year with Tennessee. We got rid of some of these role players and they did a lot in the pass rush. So the bend don't break defense needs a pass rush, which we don't really have. As Zach Blatt said, last week from NJ.com, we love Ojulari. Realistically, he's good, but he hasn't been like lights out. He's in spurts, but because we're so desperate, it's like we're on a a desert, and if I give you a drop of water, you're like, that's the best drink I've ever had. Ojulari tends to be in spurts. Truth. How is this going to work? How are we going to pull off another 3-4 wins if we just don't have a pass rush?
It's going to be very hard. I'm going to go back to Spartan Mike's point. He made a good point. How the Giants use the same defensive philosophy against the Bucs, and because they had a quarterback, they got picked apart. And they're very lucky that Jalen Reagor reminded us of everyone, because they should have lost that game. He made those catches. Those were not difficult.
You're breaking
catches.
up again, Truth. I think it's your headset, Truth. I think it's your headset.
I hope. Can you hear me right now?
A little bit. I think it's I think it might be your headset. Truth.
How about this? Is that better?
You're not bad.
No, I'm just saying that thank God that guy dropped those 2 passes, else we would have lost that game too.
Yeah. Fresh. Can we win more games consistently bending without breaking, without zero pass rush here?
Yeah, ideally you want to have a pass rush, but I think that to an extent you're going to probably be in a lot of games where your defense is on the field a long time. You got to be good situationally. You got to be good in the red zone. It does stress the offense to play mistake-free and clean football, and we do have a turnover in every game this year. We create turnovers, and it again, I don't think that it matters.
We have a turnover in every game?
They've created a turnover in like 13 straight games.
Wow. Fresh, that's good knowledge you're dropping there.
He got that on Twitter. I saw that.
The defense has been. I posted on Twitter too. The last 5 games, they've been lights out. The issue is that the other side of the ball is way more concerning. Whether they bend don't break or whether they are a staunch defense that's not going to give up many yards. Like, the bottom line is they're limiting opponents in the last 5 games to like 15 points a game, and that's good enough to win. Yet they're only 3-2 in that span because the offense is putrid. So if they don't fix the offense, they could bend, they could break. It don't matter. They got to fix the offense. Yes, it would be nice to have an elite pass rusher. You and I have talked about Ojulari. I think you're on point there. I think he's a sporadic guy that's going to disappear for 2 games at a time, but that can be a good number 2 pass rusher, an 8 to 10 sack guy. But I still think you need a but I haven't seen enough from him that lets me believe he's going to be a down in, down out like premier guy. I could be wrong.
Fresh, let me and Spartan Mike, I'll kick it to you in a sec. Remember 2 things that I mentioned last week, Fresh. One is he's never played this late into the season. You're done by Thanksgiving, right? So this is all new to him. And 2, and Truth and I have talked about this probably back in October. He's going to put on 20 pounds of muscle in the offseason. He's going to come in at like 265 next year, So he's going to be bigger and stronger. He'll play the run better. You know what I mean? And I think you'll see some, more of a bull rush at him. Right now he bends really well, right? But against bigger experienced tackles, he gets a little swallowed up. So, and the D, as Victor just said here, the D is, keeping you in the game and keeping it tight. The issue by far, and it always has been about the offense. As much as we had the 9th ranked defense and then they sunk all the way down to the 29th ranked defense, the last couple of weeks has all been about the defense and the play of Adoree Jackson and Xavier McKinney, which, by the way, I'm going on record saying he's not X-Men. We have one of those, even though he's not good. It's XMC. Just throwing it out there. We're calling him XMC. Spartan Mike, what do you think here about the pass rush and the bend don't break stuff?
Again, the bend don't break wouldn't be a problem at all if we had an offense that scored points. I think our frustration with the defense is week by week basis. I think that even a game where the Buccaneers score 30 points would suffice if we had an offense that could just for once score 33 points. But our offense struggles to score above 15 points every single week. And that's ultimately our problem. I don't know. I know a lot of yards on defense. I know that's a struggle, but ultimately it comes down to points. And I don't have the stat right now, but I do remember last year being very, very low in the amount of points that we give up per game, but very high in yards. I can deal with yards as long as they're not putting up points. Giants have to outscore their opponent.
Yeah, and that it is definitely right now an issue because I think Fresh kind of hit the nail on the head. Like you gotta let Jones throw. You know what I mean? Like you gotta let him throw instead of trying to save your ass and save your job and all this other stuff. You gotta let him throw. One first down wins the game the other night. You know what I mean? Like it just wins the game. And instead, they hung back and literally handcuffed Jones. And said, we're going to roll the dice with the defense making a stop. And listen, and if Rieger catches one of those balls, it's over. And right now the world is on fire. We're calling for the judge because Jalen Hurts stinks. I mean, that cat's terrible. I mean, and you're telling, and I'm like trying to stick up for Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones looks terrible because we don't even know what he can do. Let the cat throw the ball down the field. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, you want to win, and you need one first down, but you won't let the guy throw to the $72 million wide receiver. It's a problem. So I'm hoping, as Rock said earlier, Mr. Johnson said earlier that we should see something. Truth with Joe Judge. Hey, Truth, this is for you from Kevin. It's you got the Joe Judge headset issue. nice work
now anyway.
Yes, way better.
Okay,
way better. So at the end of the day, let's just say this: if they want Daniel Jones to be their franchise quarterback, they have to let him play football. I think Fresh is right on.
Yeah, man.
Stomp them out.
All right. Yeah. I wanted you guys to do that, by the way, because I was going to put that together. Oh, look at that. Nice. So I will admit that I was not at the game. It's like the seventh. It's only the seventh game that I've missed since like 1984. So I apologize for that. And we got a whole bunch of cool stuff coming up, guys. We're adding on the Fly Guy Carl. We're gonna add on South Florida Steve. We're looking for one more content creator for you folks out there to add on. We got some really cool stuff that I'm working on that's coming up, like a special guest, weekly guest, some exclusive content you're gonna be able to subscribe to, and some really cool stuff. So we thanks for tuning in. It's another episode of the Giants, guys. NYGiantsRush.com. Mikey Fresh's boys up there with a piece called Buy or Sell. Check that out. I'll give you a tidbit. He's buying Kadarius Toney, Mr. Fragile, and he is selling Saquon Barkley, Mr. Fragile. So it's a pretty good piece. Get a chance, check him out. Truth's always crushing it out with the Coach's Corner. Spartan Mike working on some cool stuff, and we've got some other stuff coming up. By the way, want to mention we're brought to you by Pickup. Play the props, people. Make an account, right? Verify your account. Start playing the props. So I'm going to throw this out to you guys now for you people that are in here watching the show. If you want a prop made that you want to play, fire it over to me. I'll send it to the pickup team. So if you want a prop that says Daniel Jones won't, what's the percentage that Daniel Jones will be the quarterback in 2022? Or how about this one? Will Jake Fromm, recently signed from the Buffalo Bills, start a game in 2021? Right? Like if you want to see these props made, I'm literally giving you props. Send them in to me at NY Giants Rush at Twitter. Send me the props you want made. I'll have them made by the pickup team. If you don't know what pickup is our partner. You can go to NY Giants Rush, check out the pickup tab, and you can play all the props. It's like playing a poll. You make an account. Now here's the cool thing. If you win enough props, you will accumulate enough points to buy anything you want from the Fanatics or DraftKings. But if you want a new jersey, like you want a Carl Banks throwback, like Spartans wearing, but of course in Giants blue. If you want a Jones jersey, you want a throwback, whatever you want, the Fanatics has it. So play the props, win the props, or what I'd like you to do is send us the props you want. You say, hey, Craig, these are the props I'd like to play. I'll have them made. Lastly, money line, $10 on the money line. Go to BetMGM, King of Sportsbooks. You go there, $10 down for new accounts. Bet $10 on the money line. If your team wins, if your team scores a touchdown, you get $200 of free bets. It's a kind of a no-brainer kind of thing. Your team doesn't even have to win, people. As I say, don't be stupid. You want some money for the holidays? Go to nygiantsrush.com. Bang the button. Bang, bang, bang. And next thing you know, you put $10 down. Your team scores a touchdown. You get $200 of free bets. I'm gonna go around the horn. You guys give me a last comment. What you want to say? What you think is going to happen this week against the Dolphins? Truth. Since you now have got your Joe Judge headset fixed.
I hope it sounds better.
Yeah. Wait. By the way, never use that other headset again because that sounds night and day.
Okay.
What do you see now?
Well,
We're gonna end the show here. Truth. You got 30 seconds. I'm putting you on the clock. What do you see happening this week?
Well, it's going to be a tough game for the Giants. Dolphins have a 4-game winning streak going, and they're really good at home. Tua plays his best at home. Giants do not play good on the road. It's going to be a tough game, especially if they're not healthy. I'm going to have my article out, Nick. I'm looking at the clock while I'm talking. I got my article coming out on Thursday. Who do I think is going to win? You have to wait and see. But it's going to be a tough game for the Giants. That's all I can say.
Woo! He came in under time, which means that Truth are fresh. You pick up an extra 7 seconds that he left on the clock. So fresh. What do you think about Giants Miami this week? You have 37 seconds.
Well, everything's difficult for the Giants, Truth. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to be an interesting game because they kind of mirror us. They're playing strong defense. Last year and this year, they've relied on their defense. Their offense and their quarterback has question marks. Their offensive line is spotty. Their weapons have been injured. Ranking-wise, our offense is ranked similarly to theirs. It's going to be a low-scoring, ugly game, and it's going to come down to turnovers and situational football in the red zone. So that's that.
Oh, guess what?
6 more seconds for Spartan Mike.
So Spartan Mike, you now have an additional 6 seconds on the clock.
And let me do what I do best and bring you a little bit of history. The New York Giants have only lost the Miami Dolphins twice. 1972, when the Dolphins were perfect, and 2003, when the Dolphins were not perfect. We just really sucked that year. I don't see the Giants blowing the game to the Dolphins. History is treated as too well with this team. I think the Giants are going to march into the tropics, and they're going to have an easy, fun day by the beach. So take a dub home. That's it.
Damn,
Wow.
you guys. Wow. You guys all
that's a big statement right there.
Yeah,
Wow.
you guys all came in under the mark. So I'm gonna say, and I'm not really gonna be long-winded either, but I'm gonna say I actually am on board with Spartan Mike. I do think the Giants win. You know, they roll in there with a little bit of confidence, but a little bit of full week. I think Freddie Kitchens is gonna have a little bit of fun with our guys, right? And it's gonna be warm. And someone, I'm not sure who it is, but someone's gonna be like an unsung hero. Okay, like I'm seeing like Leonard Williams getting 2 sacks, or I'm seeing like Booker with like 80 yards, or I'm seeing like, you know, Ingram with a big touchdown catch. Something is going to. I know, Truth, your eyes got big. That's a lot for me to say with Ingram, but I just think Freddie Kitchens is going to want to put a little bit of flair into it. You know what I'm saying? He went downfield vertical with the Browns and Baker Mayfield quite often. So I think the Giants win. And I'm thinking the Giants offense, even though they will not be cured, all their woes will not go away. The line will still suck, but something will happen.
They'll make a couple plays. Somebody will make a couple
They will
plays.
bend, but they will not break. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And I'm, you know, like, and again, we don't score a lot of points. They don't score a lot of points. And because Daniel Jones is going to play, I won't, my hair won't be as frazzled. I won't look as crazy and nutty as if Daniel Jones play. If Daniel Jones doesn't play, I might short circuit with a neck injury. I mean, for the love of God, you know. Mark here says, the last one is, Dolphins is a high blitzing team, should be more explosive plays in order to win. Well, I will say this, Mark. I'll leave you with this. You don't get explosive plays if they blitz a lot. You're not going to get a lot of big-time explosive plays with a blitzing team. If the Dolphins decide to blitz 60% of the time, you're going to get a lot of screens and a lot of short routes because Jones doesn't have the time. You know how bad our line is. Literally, in 2022, the Giants are going to have to bring in four new linemen. Don't know how they do it. Trade Barkley and Golladay for all I care. But they're going to have to bring in 4 new linemen, literally, because they don't believe in Pert, because they're basically letting Solder get Jones destroyed. We know Hernandez is definitely not the answer, and neither are the other 2 jabrones that we picked up off the scrap heap. So thanks for tuning in. Remember, send me your props. I think Kevin McWalters, Giants under 30 points prop streak is insane. Yes, I will get a prop made for you, Kevin. If you have props, send them to me. We'll have them up by tomorrow. And do me a favor. Pick up, play it, go there. It's a sponsor of ours. If you support us, support them. This is the another episode of the Giants Guys, and we are hoping for another win. We're OUT out. Peace.
Peace.